Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to CrossFit Central 101. My name is Chris, and today I'm going to be taking you guys through a little bit of Shea Patterson tape. So Shea is a fourth-year senior out of the University of Michigan, of course, my favorite school. For those of you guys who are new to the channel, welcome. Listed unofficially at 62205. So, over the course of the next week or so, we're going to be watching some of the players who are going to be participating in the Senior Bowl, particularly for the North team. Lions are my favorite, the Detroit Lions, I should say, are my favorite NFL team. So I'm kind of looking to see who we're going to be coaching, how guys stack up, how we're going to be able to utilize guys over the course of the next week or two, depending on when you're watching this. Maybe this is the Senior Bowls in the past, and we've already seen the Senior Bowl, in which case, hopefully, we were able to kind of utilize these guys to their strengths and maximize them and all that kind of thing. So, the start of this whole thing, I figured I'd take a look at someone I'm already very familiar with, having watched every single one of his games, and Shea Patterson. So, today we have only one game, maybe two, for you guys in Iowa 2019. I've already watched a lot of his games personally myself, so I'm already pretty familiar with everything that I want or need to see. And I actually already have his grades filled out from the course of the year, so I'll go over those a little bit with you guys as well at the end of the video. But one thing that I will say is I do like his mobility, I do like his ability to throw on the run, and I really like his arm strength. Those are probably three of his bigger weaknesses to me. That he's showed over the course of the last two years specifically at Michigan. He has pretty respectable arm in terms of velocity and strength, and he also has pretty good mobility, pretty good ability to throw on the run and escape out of the pocket every once in a while when need be. Also, I do think that was a good decision for him to come back to school. He made a great decision. Of being able to work with Josh Gaddis this year, who's really helped him, in my personal opinion. He's really developed under a improved offensive coaching staff. Same thing with Ben McDaniels. Ben McDaniels has been really nice to get another year to work with him as well. So, I mean, that's been a big reason for Shea's, I want to say, improvement over the course of the last 12 months. So, but here's an example of one of the things that I do really like about Shea, and that's his arm straight. Throws this from the 25 all the way to the opposing 25. Pretty good on target throw as well. Gives Nico a really nice chance to come down with that football. Also like his improvement in terms of pocket presence this year too. He's doing a really nice job of staying in the pocket and going through his reads, which is something that he did not always do at Ole Miss very well and or consistently. He's doing a much better job of that. Now, he does still stare down receivers, which is an issue, but he does do a much better job of going through and being patient and waiting for the plays to develop a little bit more frequently than he did. Flood concept here from Josh Gaddis. Just honestly could have made the argument he made the wrong read, but also could make the argument that he kind of just underthrew this and he had this window here between the two defensive backs. But whichever one you want to say, it was an error on his part. Nice mobility. And every once in a while, he will do this, and this is a direct result of his arm strength. He has a really nice shot of getting this ball out quick, but most importantly, he puts a lot of zip and velocity on this football. It allows him to throw that into that real nice tight window and into the bigger body Eubanks. He does a really nice job of maximizing that arm strength. Also, has gotten a lot better over the last 2 years at utilizing play action as well, which has been nice to see. And yeah, he will struggle a little bit more throwing beyond 5 or 10 yards on the run, especially moving to his left. That's going to happen. But he is actually reasonably respectable when he rolls right and or only has to throw to a check down 5 yards, 10 yards. Hit that running back option. Nice. Actually does a pretty good job of putting touch on those screen passes though, which is kind of cool. Makes his passes catchable for those running backs at or beyond the line of scrimmage. Which is kind of cool because you get to see the contradictory portion of that, where he gets really good arm strength on those short to intermediate routes, those slants and those digs and all that those kinds of routes too. Like on that play, that was really nice zipping velocity. To be able to just dart that right into that window, bam, get it to him before he gets to the sideline. So you get to see kind of both sides to that as well. He has the ability to run that read RPO type of offense too. So, but yeah, overall, that's I think all we're gonna watch today for Shea. I've already seen quite a bit of him. If you guys want to watch more on your own time, definitely feel free to do so. But overall, I'm just gonna go over some of my grades for him. He's in this column or this row right here. And yeah, so here are my overall thoughts on him. 7 inchangeable, 6 decision making, mainly because I want to see him make the right reads a little bit more. And I also would like to see him. He's doing a better job at staying patient in terms of finding rushing lanes and things like that. But I do kind of want to see him be a little bit better at making those second, third reads as well. And going through those progressions, scanning both halves of the field on the same play, just the nuances from those standpoints. A good arm strength, though, definitely one of his bigger assets is his arm. Want to see him work on that accuracy, and that'll mainly come with consistency and all those types of aspects of his game. Very athletic, not Lamar Jackson athletic, but I'll actually get to my comment for him in a minute. Improvisation out of the pocket ability is pretty good, as I showed a little bit earlier. A little bit better at finding those 5 yard, 10 yard check down routes rather than those deep shots, but he has the ability to do that. Kind of not too dissimilar to a Tom Brady in terms of check down. I do think he has a little bit more mobility than obviously Tom Brady, and I'll again get to my comment for him in a minute. But yeah, he has the ability to kind of do those types of things. Mechanics are still something that could be improved and will be improved with NFL caliber coaching. And miscellaneous, I do like his decision to go back, stay at Michigan for another year, get another year of development, work with Josh Gaddis, and by McDaniels another year. So, some good decisions there. But yeah, overall, those are my great thoughts on him. But one thing that I will say is I do think that his potential is a lot higher than what we've seen from him at the University of Michigan. And I think that Josh Gaddis in particular has kind of gotten to show us his flashes of what he can do at his ceiling. And it's been really fun to watch what he can do at his peak performance level. Because yes, he has some really bad misses and some really bad games, especially at Ole Miss. His Ole Miss tape was not something that I enjoyed watching. I did not like him as a transfer, really. I thought that, honestly, he might not even be able to beat out McCaffrey when he first came over. But he's continuing to grow, he's continuing to develop, he's continuing to get closer to what we thought he would become out of high school in a good way. And over the course of time, as we get him into pro coaching and pro development track, I think he has the upside to, at full potential, if he gets to maximum 100% of his ceiling, he could become a Russell Wilson type of player. Now, the chances of that happening, you guys can judge for yourself, are likely very slim, because it's not likely that he gets to that 100% potential of his ceiling. But I think that is his maximum, highest 100% maxed out ceiling is that kind of level of player. But if you draft him and he ends up becoming this, I don't know, even Blake Bortles type of player. Like, Blake Bortles started in Jacksonville for a couple of years and got an extension. So, like, that's still an NFL caliber quarterback. And yes, Blake Bortles is not good, but I don't think that Shea Patterson has to be a great NFL quarterback to make his mark on the league, whether that be as a backup or a practice squad type of player, a guy who can mix things up for defenses, maybe come in for a game or two like David Blau did in Detroit this year and kind of mix things up like Jeff Driscoll did in his one start here. Like, he can definitely do that kind of thing for an offense and even be like what RG3 was for Baltimore this year. Kind of just be that guy where, hey, I have a mobile quarterback like behind Russell Wilson in Seattle would be a great fit. Like, hey, I have a mobile quarterback. I need another mobile quarterback who can run my offense behind him. Maybe Shea Patterson is the guy who can do that for you. Uh, so those are the types of teams. And to top this all off, I think the Lions might be an interesting fit for him. Darrell Bevell's the guy who really worked with, developed, and pounded the table for Russell Wilson out of Wisconsin. He's going to be the guy who works with him at the Senior Bowl as our offensive coordinator. And Sean Ryan worked with Deshaun Watson at Houston when he was with the Texans. He really helped bring Watson into the pro level and ease that transition. So I think that the Lions would have an optimal coaching staff to kind of get him as close to that ceiling as he could get at the NFL level. And we're going to be able to get the chance to see how close we think we can get him to that level at the Senior Bowl. We're also a team in need of a backup quarterback. We're also a team in need of a quarterback or a system who likes running those mobile quarterbacks, who likes those guys who are leaders, who have those senior type of I don't want to say development because he's still raw, but I guess his ability to be more receptive to coaching, I guess is a good way to phrase it. Went back for a senior year, all those types of things. So he definitely has that aspect to his game, to his draft profile. And of course, we have the connections to Michigan, local ties, blah blah blah. Went after Jake Rudock when Bob Quinn earlier in his general managing career from Michigan, all those types of things. So there's a million reasons why I think the Lions might be able to actually be interested in Shea Patterson. At the very least, he might be worth a 6th-round player. Maybe a trade back, get a 7th-round pick, take him in the 7th round. Best case scenario for us, he falls out of the draft and we bring him in as a UDFA. And maybe we get the chance to compete him against David Blau against Jeff Driscoll. So Not really the biggest fan of him here, as you guys can tell by my grades. I definitely don't like him all that much. But I do think that this is an unfair representation of his potential and where he could be, and more of a representation of where I think he is now, and just how much work he has to do to get to being where he needs to be a starting caliber quarterback. So, with that being said, I talked a lot about Shea. I'm just going to make this its own video, and that'll kind of conclude this one for now. But keep an eye out for another Jordan Love video, part 2, uh, as we went over his 2018 tape at the very, very beginning of the year. But we're going to go over some 19 tape ahead of the Senior Bowl as well as the third quarterback in lines we're going to be coaching and Mobile and Anthony Gordon out of Washington State. So keep an eye out for those two guys who are going to be coming up soon. But for now, hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and peace out.